When I won my Paralympic medals in 1984, the unemployment rate was more than 7%. Today, it's far less. Yet 80% of people with disabilities, just like me, are still out of work. It's time we stopped focusing on what people can't do and invest in what they can do. People with disabilities are persistent, driven, and capable. It's time to look closer at how we hire. Visit nod.org/lookcloser.
It's 8 o'clock. This check of the time presented by Spectrum One.
Thanks for joining us at the top of the hour. I'm Lachlan McLean.
And I'm Amber Smith, here with a look at your Spectrum News in 90. A nonprofit in Kentucky is asking for $1.5 million to help build a community of tiny homes for veterans. The group wants to create transitional housing and educational services for veterans, including those recovering from trauma.
To help get people ready for severe weather, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has passed out over 1,100 all-hazard radios to mobile home communities in Lexington. They're designed to get those who are vulnerable to storms to safety quickly.
With indoor farming startup App Harvest declaring bankruptcy this week, partners with the company are now putting together next steps. While the company transitions to new ownership, they'll continue shipping out products.
Mostly clear skies here overnight and some pretty humid conditions. Temperatures falling back into the 60s and 70s by the time we get to early Wednesday morning. We'll see a little bit more in the way of some clouds on Wednesday and a small chance for an isolated shower or storm. Still hot, though, with high temperatures getting into the lower and even middle 90s. That'll give us heat index values to the near 100-degree mark in the afternoon hours. We stay hot going into Thursday with more 90s in the forecast. That's your news in 90.
It's just over 2 weeks before the start of school in Louisville. Jefferson County Public Schools wants parents in the district to be aware of changes they've made to bus routes and school start times.
Spectrum News 1's Mason Brighton has more now on what's been happening this summer to ensure students make it to class on time.
As a JCPS bus driver, Avon Paul's day starts early.
Roughly about 5 a.m., 5:30.
After retiring from the Marines, Paul has found a new career, taking kids to and from school in the city's East End. Soon, like the rest of the drivers in the district, he'll start practicing his new bus routes ahead of the first day of school.
Anxious, never nervous. Always enjoy dealing with the kids, always enjoy dealing with the parents, enjoy doing my job.
This year, the district has overhauled the way it handles busing. For nearly every campus, routes have been changed to be more efficient. JCPS will also have a variety of school start times. Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio explains it's all to ensure kids get to class and back home again on time.
Unfortunately, a lot of instructional time was missed because of a shortage of bus drivers. So we have thousands of students getting to school late, and we just could not repeat that for another year. We had to make these changes.
The good news is, for the first time in a long time, JCPS has more bus drivers than its 600 bus routes.
As a result of this, we will not have students getting to school late and missing hours of instruction. We had about 20,000 students miss instructional time this past year because of late buses.
It'll also mean the district will cut down on the number of extra trips drivers have to make, getting kids to and from the classroom faster than before.
To have kids on your bus and, you've had them since they were in kindergarten, to see them, graduate out of elementary school and go to middle school, it's rewarding. It's rewarding.
Paul prides himself in being part of these kids' education, which includes lessons learned on and off the bus.
So yeah, there are some changes and some inconveniences that I think we'll all have to face, but getting kids to school on time and getting them home on time is our number one goal in this.
And while there may be some hiccups at the start of the year, it's a challenge drivers like Paul are willing to take on. Reporting in Louisville, Mason Brighton, Spectrum News.
Mason, thank you. And this week, JCPS relaunched their online tool that helps families find which bus their student will be on this year. The JCPS Bus Finder is available on the district's website. You just need to enter your home address and the school your child attends to get bus route information. If something doesn't seem right, JCPS asks parents to reach out to their child's school.
And JCPS is also partnering with a local nonprofit to expand access to resources to help students get experience in health and medical fields. The district is teaming up with Louisville-based SOS International to get hands-on learning tools and medical supplies to grow the Health Science Career Pathway program. Since the partnership began 2 years ago, the program has focused not just on teaching skills needed in healthcare fields, but it also worked to reduce barriers students may face. SOS will also be training educators on resources available to help teach the next generation of medical professionals. As supplies were packed up, organizers went through just how much this effort saves the schools.
This will impact over 2,000 students this school year. It represents close to $100,000 worth of supplies that the school district does not have to procure to give the students this experiential learning.
The second phase of the program will begin this fall, helping improve student engagement and highlighting minorities in the medical field across Louisville.
Meanwhile, for those in northern Kentucky who need more standard school supplies, tomorrow is the last day to sign up for the annual Backpacks and Breakfast giveaway. It's the 23rd year that Northern Kentucky Harvest will host the annual supply giveaway. The group expects to pass out over 1,000 free backpacks stuffed with supplies for low-income families that need some extra help. To sign up, you can fill out a registration form online at beconcerned.org. The deadline to sign up is 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. The giveaways are scheduled for the weekend of August 12th at the People's Pantry in Covington. And events like the one in northern Kentucky come at a critical time as new numbers are showing just how expensive back-to-school shopping season can be. The Kentucky Retail Federation reports that this year, spending from kindergarten through 12th grade could reach over $41 billion across the country, almost $5 billion more than last year, and it works out to about $900 per student in back-to-school costs. And those costs are even higher for college students, with estimates showing an expected cost of $94 billion this year, up $20 billion from last year. The KRF reported the demand for technology is what's driving some of those costs, with about 69% needing new electronics like computers and phones.
With less than a week before one of the largest strikes in U.S. history could have started, UPS and the Teamsters Union have reached a tentative agreement on a new contract for over 340,000 workers. After months of negotiations stalled, the union has now agreed to new terms for the 5-year contract. Those include historic pay increases, $7.50 an hour more by 2028. Part-time employees will now make $21 an hour immediately. Safety inspections and air conditioning on all delivery vehicles, no more forced overtime on days off, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day will be a full holiday for the first time. UPS said in a statement the deal was a win-win-win for the company, the union, and customers, saying, quote, "This agreement continues to reward UPS's full and part-time employees with industry-leading pay and benefits while retaining the flexibility we need to stay competitive, serve our customers, and keep our business strong." Member voting on the new deal will begin next week, with the union hoping to have a new deal signed by August 22nd. Still ahead, almost 1 year after storms closed them down, a school in eastern Kentucky is showing how they're still standing. We'll see how they're surviving the floods and moving forward.
And the heat is on across the Commonwealth, and it's only getting hotter as we start inching towards triple digits. We'll check out what is on tap for the rest of the week in your Weather on the Ones.
Let's get real. With us, you'll get a great education that can lead to a great career faster. Even better, you won't end up with crippling debt. College for the real world. College for your world.
My A1C was up here. Now it's down with Rybelsus.
His A1C?
It's down with Rybelsus.
My doctor told me Rybelsus lowered A1C better than a leading branded pill.
And that people taking Rybelsus lost more weight. I got to my A1C goal and lost some weight too.
Rybelsus isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't take Rybelsus if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Rybelsus and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Rybelsus with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Need to get your A1C down?
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Part-time job, full-time hustle, all-time Shiro to all of us. You nurture, we listen. You teach, we thrive. You lift our spirits, but we've got to lay down the truth. It's time for you, our Shiro, to stretch for the stars. A free online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Start saving more for retirement so you can feel prepared and live your life to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Well, Mother Nature certainly started to crank up the thermostat here lately, and she's not done quite yet. We had an official high in Lexington at the Bluegrass Airport of 89 degrees on Tuesday after a mild and humid start to the day of a low of 66 degrees. Here's your high temperature forecast over the next several days. Mid-90s possible for Thursday, Friday, and even possibly into part of the weekend as well. Adding insult to injury will be the mugginess sticking around too. The big reason here for the warm-up on the way is with this big ridge of high pressure out over the southwest U.S. We also call it a dome of heat because that's where the hot temperatures are. It's going to expand to the east across the Ohio Valley, and that means we're going to be seeing hot and humid conditions here for the work week. And again, no real big chances for rain along the way. There will be a few chances, but right now nothing looking too substantial. May see some spotty showers or maybe a storm Wednesday and Thursday. I think maybe a slightly better chance by the start of the upcoming weekend, but even that's not a for sure bet. Forecast overnight, lots of stars, even warmer than the previous night, only falling down to a low temperature in the lower 70s in Lexington. Southwest wind very light. For the start of our day coming up here on Wednesday, temperatures are going to be in the low 70s early, already in the mid 70s by 9 a.m. as we're in store for another toasty day across eastern Kentucky. I'll show you how toasty and have your complete 7-day forecast coming up in less than 9 minutes from right now.
This week marks 1 year since deadly flooding forever changed the history of eastern Kentucky. 1 year later, a number of schools are unable to open because of that damage.
A private school in Breathitt County was not only hit by last year's flood, but also one in 2021. Spectrum News 1's Mason Brighton takes us to Lost Creek, where the school is still making plans to keep teaching far into the future.
Even though it's been nearly a year since roaring floodwaters crested the troublesome creek,
everything from the sign all the way up, everything was under.
The smell of mold and the scars left behind by the 1,000-year flood still remain.
I just get random whiffs of it, and I'm like, oh, yep, I remember that.
Floodwaters at the Riverside Christian School in Breathitt County rose to nearly 20 feet. It caused extensive damage to the school and housing for staff who live on site year-round. School Secretary Jerica Turner lost everything she owned for a second year in a row because of flooding. She also had to be rescued by boat.
It's really hard to walk through it and see it because you think of all the memories and all the things that have happened, and it's really hard.
Despite the damage, the school was able to reopen just 2 months later. It's something Turner says everybody agreed had to happen.
They were obviously not feeling a safe place wherever they were, and so coming to school we wanted that for them. We just wanted them to be able to come here, have fun, have a good time, and learn and be with their friends and do all the normal stuff that kids are supposed to do.
Following the flood, there was uncertainty if the school would have to close forever, but a path forward eventually became clear.
With school starting in less than a month, we want to make sure we're ready.
It's why staff are packing up and saying goodbye to their century-old school. They're now in the process of relocating to a new building on higher ground.
So we are just going right up the road to our new school building, our new location.
This month, they were able to purchase a nearby elementary school no longer in use by the county. It will be able to hold all of their school services, plus more classrooms, all under one roof.
We're just really excited to be up there and to not have to worry anymore. Our kids will be safe and they'll get a good education.
School staff says everything will be up and running in time for the beginning of the school year.
You can just feel the energy. We're here, we're working, we're ready, we're moving, and we're just excited to serve this community, truly, and to continue to be a light in the hills of Eastern Kentucky.
A light that no amount of water can extinguish. Reporting in Lost Creek, Mason Brighton, Spectrum News.
Mason, thank you. The Riverside Christian School receives no state funding. They were able to raise over $300,000 for their new school through community donations. School staff say they are still in need of more help to pay for renovations and new staff housing.
And be sure to join us Thursday evening as our team reports on the progress that's been made, the work that's still left, and what's being done to keep communities safe in the future after the flooding.
You can watch Surviving the Floods, Eastern Kentucky Rebuilds, right here on Spectrum News 1. That special comes your way Thursday night at 8 Eastern.
Following natural disasters like the flooding in eastern Kentucky and tornadoes in the western part of the state, Kentucky has seen one of the largest increases in homeowners insurance costs since last year. A report from insurance monitoring group Quote Wizard found since 2022, rates in the Commonwealth have gone up 22%. That's the fifth highest increase across the nation, and it puts average premiums at just shy of $3,000. But in high-risk areas, that jumps to over $5,000. Over the last 20 years, Kentucky has seen billion-dollar natural disasters jump 170%. Some good news for Kentuckians. The Commonwealth ranks among the lowest for the cost of household expenses. The report from Doxo put Kentucky 46th in terms of average monthly spending, with expenses 16.4% lower on average here than nationally. It showed the average Kentucky household pays just over $1,700 a month for the most common household bills. Prospect in Jefferson and Oldham counties is the city with the most expensive household bills at $2,800 a month. The state with the highest household expenses is Hawaii at over $3,000 a month, and the cheapest is West Virginia at just over $1,500 a month.
Several COVID-19 pandemic-era benefits are set to expire this fall. About 28 million people will have to start paying their monthly student loans again. Those payments had been frozen since March of 2020, but are set to resume in October. And stabilization grants for childcare also going away at the end of September. About 3 million children might be affected, as thousands of programs could close. Also, about 500,000 people could lose access to food stamps when work requirements for that benefit resume in October.
Still to come, just 5 years after launching their innovative indoor farm, one Kentucky company is declaring bankruptcy. We're seeing how App Harvest got to that point and what its future looks like.
It's a great week to have access to a pool as the temperatures and humidity levels will keep rising. I'll show you which days look hottest in your 7-day forecast coming up next in your Weather All New Ones.
My advice to all the fathers out there, they grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Looking for a career that makes a real difference in people's lives? Consider becoming an officer with Lexington Community Corrections. With a starting salary of $50,000 plus a $3,000 hiring incentive, great benefits like health insurance, paid vacation, and a 401k, we'll set you up to feel secure in your new career. No background in criminal justice? No problem. Our academy provides extensive training to help you succeed.
If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
At Baptist Health, we want you to know the facts. Visit BaptistHealthTalks.com to view a video of Nurse Morgan Ritchie on recovering from a heart cath procedure. Baptist Health Lexington. Be a healthier you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents are...
Over the past 2 years, we've put over 1,000 underrepresented small businesses on TV, supported them with $20 million in free media, provided access to advertising resources, and exclusive mentorship programs to help them achieve their dreams. At Spectrum Reach, we believe that businesses thrive when communities connect. That's why we began the Pay It Forward program in 2021 to support small businesses all across the country. It's our way of making connections to better serve our communities. Learn what Pay It Forward can do for your business today.
I think we can finally say that it's officially summer in the Commonwealth as we're seeing that stretch of 90-degree days lasting with us here for all the way into the first half of the weekend at least. So we'll call it a heat wave here all the way through Friday and a part of Saturday, and it's going to be very humid as well, which will drive those heat indices up to maybe near 100 on some days. Rain chances are going to stay on the low side though. A couple of small chances which we'll talk about, but overall nothing too significant showing up right now in the forecast. Speaking of your forecast, overnight will fall back into the upper 60s and lower 70s for an even milder night compared to the previous night. A pretty balmy start to our day coming up on Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, I think we'll see a little more cloud cover out there over the course of the day as a weakening complex of some storms tries to make its way into the region, but it really falls apart as it does. I think we'll see some more cloud cover by the later part of the day, which will have no impact on those high temperatures. Here's your forecast planner for the day. 82 at 10 o'clock, already near 90 by 2, and we'll hit the 90s for highs in the afternoon. Here's the highs: 94 Jackson, 92 Lexington, Georgetown, 93 in Frankfort, and 92 in Somerset. Look at your overnight lows Wednesday night into early Thursday. It is going to be a tropical start to Thursday. Low temperatures only in the middle 70s. That's going to start us off pretty mild on Thursday morning, leading to another hot day coming up on Thursday. Watching for a small chance for maybe a few storms very late Wednesday night, early Thursday with another one of those weakening complexes of storms. But again, they're going to have a hard time getting into our area. Not for sure bet even a low end chance as of right now, but you can see some of the models picking up on that outflow boundary, trying to fire up a couple storms, but not everyone's seeing it. So we'll watch that day very closely on Thursday, but I think by far the main story for Thursday will be the hot temperatures. Right now we're calling for highs in the middle 90s for just about everybody in the eastern half of Kentucky. You add the mugginess to it, heat index values getting to near 100, if not over 100, all the way through Friday. There's a little bit of dip though by Sunday. I'll talk about that here in your 7-day forecast. Hot all the way through Saturday, low to mid 90s. A little bit better chance for a shower or storm on Saturday as a front begins to roll into the area, but rain chance is not a for sure bet, just a slightly higher chance as of right now. Sunday, we're back in the 80s for highs, with lows back in the 60s. Kind of refreshing, don't you think? And we're going to stay in the 80s next Monday and Tuesday with another round of some storms possible heading into Tuesday, a high of 89.
When it started, App Harvest set out to reimagine the agriculture industry.
This week, the indoor farming company based in Moorhead filed for voluntary Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Spectrum News 1's Austin Schick takes a look back at the company and what the future might hold.
App Harvest launched in 2018 with fruitful ambitions of transforming the U.S. farming industry by building massive greenhouses for fruit and vegetable farming.
I'm so proud to represent the 6th Congressional District, which is rapidly becoming the ag tech capital of the world.
3 years later, the company's dreams of a flourishing ag tech world could be changing after filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy in a Texas court on Monday. The company says filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy allows them to continue operations while transitioning its finances and operations.
You never want to see any business, especially locally, file for any form of bankruptcy.
The Moorhead company was founded in 2018 by UK grad Jonathan Webb. In 2020, it opened its first 60-acre greenhouse in Moorhead, growing tomatoes and bringing hundreds of jobs to the city of 7,000. Mayor Laura White Brown says the company put Moorhead and Rowan County on the map.
We are kind of a rural community in eastern Appalachia, so anytime that an industry chooses to invest here, it's a big deal for us. You know, it boosts our local economy in pretty much every way you could imagine.
Now it has 3 other locations in Berea, Somerset, and Richmond, growing tomatoes, greens, and berries.
I love the company. I think the entire concept is a phenomenal concept and has and will continue to really make a difference, especially when you look at their vision and in terms of helping with hunger issues and food shortage issues.
App Harvest went public on the NASDAQ in 2021, opening at $36 a share. Now, stock prices have tumbled, with prices around 9 cents a share. Q2 results released in August 2021 showed a $3.1 million income on its first harvest, with a loss of $32 million. That led to federal lawsuits alleging the company misled investors. Needing cash in November and December of 2022, the company sells its Berea farm to its distributor Mastronardi Produce for $127 million. In 2023, all 4 farms began shipping produce products to grocery store chains and restaurants. The company hopes to transfer operations of its Berea farm to Mastronardi. Shipping and business operations are continuing for now at all 4 farms. In Moorhead, Austin Schick, Spectrum News.
Austin, thank you. This month, the company announced founder Jonathan Webb stepped down as CEO. Replacing him was Tony Martin. Maysville Community and Technical College collaborated with App Harvest to provide training technology to high school students. In a statement, the MCTC president said, as a part of this initiative, we were able to provide container boxes where students learned a variety of skills needed to work in the agriculture industry. We're thankful for the partnership we have had with App Harvest and their commitment to the education of students in this region. Not much getting in the way of the sunshine to start the day, but with those blue skies returning, so did the heat. We'll see why these views might be better to enjoy from inside in your Weather on the Ones.
Making just one connection during recovery from mental and substance use disorders puts the strength of family and community behind you. We're all connected. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Planning a move takes a lot. Spectrum makes it easier by helping you stay connected and in control. With just a call, we can transfer your services and have them up and running before you're even unpacked. You can even select self-install options to fit your schedule best. With step-by-step instructions, it's easy to do. Then download the My Spectrum app to manage your installation and account from your mobile phone. It's your move. We're here to help. Visit spectrum.net/easymove.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Our son Arjun was born with cystic fibrosis, a rare disease that shortens lives. But there's something you can do to help. Join us as we walk in great strides the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation's National Walk. Every year, thousands of people lace up to raise money and awareness for CF. The CF Foundation has made amazing progress, but we're not done yet. The biggest reason I strive? Because I want Arjun to live a full and happy life. Visit CFF.org and sign up for our Great Strides Walk today. Lace up, walk, cure cystic fibrosis.
Thanks for joining us. 5:30. I'm Amber Smith.
And I'm Lachlan McLean. Let's take a look now at your Spectrum News in 90. The state's largest school district has relaunched a tool to help families get familiar with what bus ride they'll need to take for the upcoming school year. To handle driver shortages, JCPS will stagger start times for different grade levels to prevent kids from getting to school late.
UPS and the Teamsters Union have now agreed to a new tentative deal for the union's 340,000 workers with the company. Along with higher wages, the plan also includes guarantees on benefits and safety concerns for drivers.
And across the nation, gas prices saw their highest single-day jump in a year yesterday, up 4 cents a gallon. Here in Kentucky, the rise was even larger, cost for a single gallon jumping 7 cents from Monday.
The forecast over the next several days is all about the heat. High temperatures on Wednesday, lower to middle 90s all across Kentucky under a partly cloudy sky and a small chance for a shower or storm. We stay hot, even hotter on Thursday with more middle 90s for high temperatures. Heat index values getting to near or over 100 for many areas. Then on Friday, the pattern continues, more 90s in the forecast in the afternoon hours. That's your news in 90.
A nonprofit is asking lawmakers for help funding a proposed tiny home community for veterans in South Central Kentucky.
The organization says the initiative will provide temporary transitional housing and educational opportunities. Spectrum News 1's Erin Kelly reports.
Virginia Dial, head of nonprofit Connect Community Village, asked lawmakers for help Tuesday funding a proposed tiny home community in Pulaski County called Bluegrass Veterans Ranch.
Our vision exists to assist our veterans seeking faith-based discipleship to further their transformation and recovery from various life events as a result of their complex traumas.
She says the organization has purchased 20 acres of land in Somerset and wants to build more than 24 tiny homes, providing temporary transitional housing for veterans, including some in recovery.
The ranch will be a living, breathing, therapeutic, tiny house community that will be self-governed by veterans for veterans during their one-year residency.
Dial says veterans would rent the 400-square-foot homes on the working ranch and have access to mental health services, community activities, and training opportunities. The nonprofit is asking lawmakers for $1.5 million in funding. At the Capitol, Erin Kelly, Spectrum News.
Thank you, Erin. The organization says it hopes to open the ranch in late spring of 2024.
In Lexington, the city is offering an incentive to use renewable energy through its Solarize Lexington program. It lets eligible homeowners get access to solar panels to put on their homes and businesses at a discount. That program saves participants up to 23% off installation costs, in addition to reduce energy costs each month as a result of the solar panels. Building on the Solar Over Louisville program, the panel installation program is the largest clean energy investment in the state for low to medium income Kentuckians. Lexington Mayor Linda Gorton says she hopes to build on that growth.
Launched just 4 months ago, Solarize Lexington has already proven its worth. providing homeowners with a trusted installer, lower prices, and guidance for switching to solar energy.
Since it began, the Solarize Lexington program has helped reduce carbon emissions by 14,000 tons. The deadline to apply for the next round is September 1st.
Between 2015 and 2022, at least 2,800 people were killed or injured in unintentional shootings by children. That is according to an analysis by Everytown for Gun Safety. And a new study is showing that watching a 1-minute gun safety video may lower unsafe behavior in kids if they find a gun. The JAMA Pediatrics study had pairs of children watch either a gun safety video or a car safety video at their home. It showed members of the gun safety group were more cautious when they found a gun in a lab drawer 1 week later. Health experts say learning about gun safety is important, and so is making sure firearms are always locked away and stored separately from ammunition.
You don't want your 3-year-old or your curious 8-year-old or potentially a suicidal teenager, right, to have unauthorized access to loaded, unlocked guns in the home.
Some experts suggest that in order to get children to be safer around guns, they should not only learn gun safety, but also not watch or play media that is inappropriate for their age.
72 full-time jobs are coming to Butler County. Aerospace Composite Solutions is building a new $16.8 million facility in Morgantown. For more than a decade, ACS has been located on West Morrison Street. This expansion will move them to the industrial park and give them a 150,000 square foot space to work in. The manufacturing company makes materials and components used on planes.
With this week marking the 14th straight year of the federal minimum wage remaining at $7.25 an hour, a new study shows that Kentucky's inflation-adjusted minimum wage is now at its lowest level in over 70 years. The Kentucky Center for Economic Policy published the report showing that with Kentucky not raising the minimum wage above federal levels, the buying power for minimum wage is the lowest in the state since 1950. And while many believe that the minimum wage is reserved for the youngest members of the workforce, the report says over half of the 5,000 people in the state earning minimum wage are over age 24. Women actually make up nearly 70% of those at that $7.25 rate. Now, while some states have raised minimum wage to $15 an hour or more, Kentucky has 343,000 people making less than that. That is 1 in 5 workers. Kentucky also has laws that prevent cities from raising their minimum wage. Only the General Assembly can do that. Currently, Kentucky is one of 15 states that has not raised minimum wage above the federal level.
25,000 books have been shared with Kentucky children through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Children 5 years old and younger can get a free book in the mail each month. The program launched in Fayette County 6 months ago, and more than 5,100 children have enrolled there, which is 73% more than was anticipated. According to the Fayette Education Foundation, more than 50% of children entering Fayette County Public Schools aren't ready for kindergarten. They say early childhood literacy could help with that. If you live in Fayette County and want to enroll your child, visit imaginationlibrary.com.
Straight ahead, President Biden taking steps to remember a major figure in the civil rights movement, Emmett Till. We're seeing what's being done to remember the young man nearly 70 years after his murder.
And it's a type of day where you want to just jump in the water because the Commonwealth is heating up. We're going to see how hot it could get this week in your weather on the ones.
Look at the skin, baby. She is glowing. She is one of one.
New Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash is packed with our highest level of vitamin B3 complex. 95% of women had visibly better skin.
Hi, I'm the Slowdown Turtle, and that's my little buddy there. My job is to get Kentucky drivers to slow down, especially young drivers, some of whom, let's face it, can be some real leadfoots. Driving too fast endangers the lives of Kentuckians. Nice job, Justin!
Not so fast, Kentucky. Please obey the speed limit.
Want a race?
No.
If you're looking for the best way to buy a pre-owned Honda, look no further than Honda True. You get less to worry about and more benefits. Choose from 3 different tiers with up to 10 model years of Honda vehicles, inspected by a Honda-trained technician. Discover why Honda True means less compromise and more of what you love about Honda.
A1 Portables provide job sites and special events with portable restrooms, office and storage containers, along with temporary fencing and crowd control barricades. Temporary fencing around work sites provides safety for those within it and keeps the public away from potential injury. Crowd control barricades provide security and direction to the public at special events for both foot and auto traffic. A1 Portables offers temporary fencing and barricade rental, delivery, setup, and removal included. Call today.
This place that I call. Everyone explain it to her.
Considering an online pharmacy? Explore BeSafeRx to find useful information and resources to help you purchase medicines safely online. A safe online pharmacy requires a doctor's prescription, has an address in the United States, has a licensed pharmacist, and is licensed by a state pharmacy board. It's best to stay away from online pharmacies that don't meet these criteria. Discover more helpful tips and resources at BeSafeRx.
Well, Mother Nature certainly started to crank up the thermostat here lately, and she's not done quite yet. We had an official high in Lexington at the Bluegrass Airport of 89 degrees on Tuesday after a mild and humid start to the day with a low of 66 degrees. Here's your high temperature forecast over the next several days. Mid-90s possible for Thursday, Friday, and even possibly into part of the weekend as well. Adding insult to injury will be the mugginess sticking around too. The big reason here for the warm-up on the way is with this big ridge of high pressure out over the southwest U.S. We also call it a dome of heat because that's where the hot temperatures are. It's going to expand to the east across the Ohio Valley, and that means we're going to be seeing hot and humid conditions here for the work week. And again, no real big chances for rain along the way. There will be a few chances, but right now nothing looking too substantial. May see some spotty showers or maybe a storm Wednesday and Thursday. I think maybe a slightly better chance by the start of the upcoming weekend, but even that's not a for sure bet. Forecast overnight, lots of stars, even warmer than the previous night, only falling down to a low temperature in the lower 70s in Lexington. Southwest wind very light. For the start of our day coming up here on Wednesday, temperatures are going to be in the low 70s early, already in the mid 70s by 9 a.m. as we're in store for another toasty day across eastern Kentucky. I'll show you how toasty and have your complete 7-day forecast coming up in less than 9 minutes from right now.
President Joe Biden establishes a national monument honoring Emmett Till, the black teenager whose 1955 lynching propelled the civil rights movement.
The monument also honors his mother, who insisted on having an open casket funeral to bring awareness to his brutal killing. Correspondent Julia Benbrook joins us now from Washington with the details.
On what would have been Emmett Till's 82nd birthday, President Joe Biden signed a proclamation creating the Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument to honor their lives and educate people about a killing that fueled the civil rights movement.
Silence is complicity. I will not be silent, nor will you be silent about what happened.
Emmett Till, a black teenager, was kidnapped, tortured, and lynched in 1955 after a white woman accused the 14-year-old of whistling at her in a store. His cousin, Reverend Wheeler Parker Jr., is the last surviving witness of the abduction.
I sat with my family on the night of terror when Emmett Till, our beloved Bobo, was taken from us. taken to be tortured and brutally murdered.
The monument authorized by the president will be managed by the National Park Service and located at 3 historic sites.
To remember an act of astonishing violence and hate, and to honor the courage of those who called upon our nation to look with open eyes at that horror and to act.
One site is just out of Glendora, Mississippi, where Emmett Till's body was discovered in the Tallahatchie River. Another at a Chicago church, where Mamie Till Mobley, his mother, insisted on an open casket funeral for her son. The third is the courthouse in Sumner, Mississippi, where Emmett Till's murderers began their trial and were wrongfully acquitted. Both men later admitted to the crimes in a magazine interview, but were not held accountable by law. The president's effort to highlight a key moment in the nation's racial history comes amid a furious debate in Florida and some other states over how the past is taught in schools. Biden referenced those efforts in his remarks, saying, quote, "Darkness and denialism can hide much, but they erase nothing. We can't just choose to learn what we want to know." In Washington, Julia Benbrook, Spectrum News.
President Joe Biden announces new rules to improve access to mental health care. Biden said his administration is moving ahead with regulations requiring that insurers provide the same level of coverage for both mental and physical health care. Biden spoke about the hurdles people sometimes must jump through in order to obtain mental health treatment.
You get referrals to see mental health specialists, but when you make the appointment, they say, "I can't see you until your doctor submits the paperwork and gets special permission from the insurance company." Give me a break. It's ridiculous.
The president also spoke about new rules for clinics that will make it easier for patients to see a doctor for the first time. A new study from the University of Michigan shows half of all adolescents in the U.S. now live more than an hour from the nearest clinic that provides gender transition care. The average was about 30 minutes prior to at least 20 states, including Kentucky, enacting policies restricting access. The American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and the American Academy of Pediatrics say access to gender transition care can have mental health benefits for transgender youth.
New Louisville football coach Jeff Brom is taking the opposite approach as Cardinal basketball coach Kenny Payne when it comes to starting the job. When Payne was hired, he preached patience and said turning around the program would take years. But as Brom prepares for his first season with the Cards, he says fans don't want to wait for results, and he's okay with that.
In today's age of college athletics, it's about winning now. It's about doing it, in my opinion, with our current football team and then any new pieces we've added. And we want to do that in year one, and it's important that you do that. So I just think if you build a competitive environment where our guys are working hard every day, that they understand that if you put in the work, you'll have a chance to do great things.
Brom spoke today at ACC Media Days in Charlotte. His team opens the season on September 1st at Georgia Tech.
Still to come, while some fear artificial intelligence taking over the world, others are more worried about it taking their jobs. We're seeing what experts are saying you can do to protect yourself from becoming obsolete. And here's what's ahead tomorrow morning.
Hi, I'm Kayla Moody.
And I am Mario Anderson, and here's what's coming up Wednesday on your morning news. It's been classified as a possible carcinogen, but what exactly is aspartame?
What you need to know about the popular artificial sweetener that's found in many diet sodas and even chewing gum. Temperatures are heating up this week, and that means that many of you are hitting the pools this summer.
And we have some tips on staying safe if you're going to be in the water.
And we're still looking at more intense heat and humidity here for the next couple of days. I'll take a look at how long we'll hang on to some of these 90-degree temperatures.
Plus, see what people are smiling about all across the Bluegrass State.
Be sure to join us Wednesday for your morning news. We're live starting at 5 a.m. Eastern, 4 Central. We'll see you then.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah, Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, didn't I see you on TV? What? Not yet, because you're wasting time debating. The Spectrum Reach ad portal puts our business on the best of TV and streaming. You can do it yourself right from our computer. It's easy, and we can afford it. You're me. I'm you, but wiser. The ad portal helps us grow our business. Wow, this is incredible. Wait till you make the commercial. Your future looks good.
Advertise on live TV and streaming. The future of your business will thank you. Spectrum Reach, one advertising partner, and done.
It's so sad. It's not.
I think we can finally say that it's officially summer in the Commonwealth as we're seeing that stretch of 90-degree days lasting with us here for all the way into the first half of the weekend at least. So we'll call it a heat wave here all the way through Friday and a part of Saturday, and it's going to be very humid as well, which will drive those heat indices up to maybe near 100 on some days. Rain chances are going to stay on the low side though. A couple of small chances which we'll talk about, but overall nothing too significant showing up right now in the forecast. Speaking of your forecast, overnight will fall back into the upper 60s and lower 70s for an even milder night compared to the previous night. A pretty balmy start to our day coming up on Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, I think we'll see a little more cloud cover out there over the course of the day as a weakening complex of some storms tries to make its way into the region, but it really falls apart as it does. I think we'll see some more cloud cover by the later part of the day, which will have no impact on those high temperatures. Here's your forecast planner for the day. 82 at 10 o'clock, already near 90 by 2, and we'll hit the 90s for highs in the afternoon. Here's the highs: 94 Jackson, 92 Lexington, Georgetown, 93 in Frankfort, and 92 in Somerset. Look at your overnight lows Wednesday night into early Thursday. It is going to be a tropical start to Thursday. Low temperatures only in the middle 70s. That's going to start us off pretty mild on Thursday morning, leading to another hot day coming up on Thursday. Watching for a small chance for maybe a few storms very late Wednesday night, early Thursday with another one of those weakening complexes of storms. But again, they're going to have a hard time getting into our area. Not for sure, but even a low end chance as of right now. But you can see some of the models picking up on that outflow boundary, trying to fire up a couple storms, but not everyone's seeing it. So we'll watch that day very closely on Thursday. But I think by far the main story for Thursday will be the hot temperatures. Right now, we're calling for highs in the middle 90s for just about everybody in the eastern half of Kentucky. You add the mugginess to it, heat index values getting to near 100, if not over 100, all the way through Friday. There was a little bit of dip, though, by Sunday. I'll talk about that here in your 7-day forecast. Hot all the way through Saturday, low to mid 90s. A little bit better chance for a shower or storm on Saturday as a front begins to roll into the area, but rain chance is not a for sure bet. Just a slightly higher chance as of right now. Sunday, we're back in the 80s for highs, with lows back in the 60s. Kind of refreshing, don't you think? And we're going to stay in the 80s next Monday and Tuesday with another round of some storms possible heading into Tuesday, a high of 89.
Whether we like it or not, there is no denying artificial intelligence is going to play a critical role in the future of society. And in fact, AI is already impacting industries across the board, creating both excitement and concern for people around the world.
Spectrum News 1's Sam Neff spoke with a tech expert today about one of the biggest fears people have when it comes to AI, jobs. So Sam, a lot of people are worried about being replaced. Are those concerns warranted?
Well, Amber, I think it's fair to say some of those concerns are warranted because we've already seen it happen. IBM, for example, announced it could replace up to 7,800 jobs with AI, and Goldman Sachs put out a report that it expects as many as 300 million jobs worldwide to be impacted by artificial intelligence. But that's not to say we're all going to be replaced, at least anytime soon. I spoke to cybersecurity expert Dave Hatter today. He's got more than 30 years of experience in IT and also happens to be the mayor of Fort Wright. And he talked about the fact that technology always advances and people always adjust. So while many jobs will indeed be impacted by AI, he thinks the best thing people can do right now is embrace and try to learn about the free tools that are out there.
If I had to guess, I think you all will, in the next 3 to 5 years, see a net loss of jobs. But I think you will see new types of jobs created. And I think you're going to see more of existing jobs where you leverage these tools to improve your productivity and add additional capabilities that you might not have otherwise had.
And Sam, are there particular industries where people should really try and get ahead of this? They could start to see that impact more than others.
Well, Locke, according to Hatter, yes, and I don't want to set off any alarms, but people like us who write for a living could be on that list.
But, the idea of needing a copywriter to produce something like a blog post, I don't know how those folks are going to stay employed over time, because literally anybody that has access to ChatGPT with the free version can generate enormous amounts of content in very short periods of time, and it's of extremely high quality.
Now, of course, that's one expert's opinion. And in the case of something like ChatGPT, you have to know how to ask the right questions. And the end product isn't perfect, but it is really eye-opening. Now, Hatter says he does think AI will impact more white-collar jobs than blue-collar jobs, but anything that follows a set of steps like accountants and paralegals, Hatter says we could see an impact sooner rather than later. In Northern Kentucky, Sam Neff, Spectrum News.
Sam, thank you so much for that insight.
We'll take a look at your forecast at the top of the hour as you look at a beautiful sunrise over Louisville's East End Bridge. We are in the midst of one of the hottest weeks of the summer. We'll tell you what tomorrow holds in your weather on the Wire.
This check of the Kentucky Lottery numbers is brought to you by Hughes & Coleman Injury Lawyers. We will fight for the money you deserve. Presented by Western Kentucky University.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We live in the communities we serve. With over 200 employees in Lexington, you've seen us around. You probably know some of us by name. We're invested here. We create jobs, connect our schools, and essential services. We support business, eat at the same places, shop at the same stores, many of which we're proud to call customers. We're Spectrum, the #1 rural internet provider in the nation. And we're committed to Lexington because this is home.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
At Spectrum, we know how much you depend on the reliability of our products and services. Now, we've taken a new step forward in reliability by identifying potential service issues before they become a problem. If you're affected, we'll contact you and help schedule a free service appointment with one of our expert technicians. The proactive maintenance of our network is one of the many reasons Spectrum delivers the most reliable internet speeds in the nation. Spectrum, keeping you connected.
If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
200 food banks strong.